I'm going to give a talk called A Talk of Ice and Fire. This is like a super loosely Game of Thrones themed talk. See Game of Thrones hoodie there. So yeah, we've got some fans. Woo. It was today. So there are no spoilers on the most recent season, most recent episode. Anything like that. There is a mild spoiler about last season. So if you haven't watched that, watch it now. So, yeah, I work at WildD, same as James. If you're looking to join us or interested in joining us, give us a shout. So the thing I'm going to talk about is the Node Debugger. Just by show of hands, who's used the Node Debugger in the console before, in the terminal? A few of you, awesome. And who's used like any kind of debugger, like in an IDE or in the browser, or yeah, loads of you, brilliant. So a lot of the same concepts apply, but when you're running like a single node script, it's super useful. I find sometimes console logging's fine and it's great, and sometimes debugging's a lot quicker at solving the problem. So I'm just going to go through how to do that with an overview of the features and then a quick demo on what you can do. So yeah, this is how you attach the debugger to your script. Instead of running node Game of Thrones.js, just add the inspect keyword in between. And to pause the script within your script, you write the word debugger. So what can it do? When you start running the script, you'll see this like load of jargon here. And basically what we're saying is there's a WebSocket listening, so you can go to the browser and inspect it, or you can carry on in the terminal. And it'll always stop on the first line of the script. And that, yeah, so the first thing you want to do after that is hit C or continue, which is just, we can then continue running the script until it hits a breakpoint or a debugger statement. You'll use this a lot. It's like a very common thing because you want to just run through the script and keep going. And so the next one is next. There's this, instead of going until it hits a debugger or a breakpoint, it will just go to the next line of code. It's pretty self-explanatory, yeah. Then step is another function which is really useful. This will go into the function that's being called. For example, here you can see that there's like a console log and it goes inside the console log. Not particularly useful in this case because I don't really care how that works. But you might be calling a function that you're not sure how it works. Maybe you want to go into it. And if you didn't mean to, or you're done with the function, whatever you meant to do, you can go out of the function. Very useful. Great. It's worth noting that you will come out the other side of the function. It won't go like back in time to where you previously were. You come out having called the function. Keep setting that. So yeah, the breakpoint. Breakpoints and debuggers are basically the same thing, except from a debugger statement is physical line of code, written the word debugger, and a breakpoint is where you've hit a breakpoint. So you can, to add a breakpoint, there's a few different ways of doing it. In the terminal, so you can add the line number, and here you can see it's printed out which line number it's going to break on, or you can add like a file name and it'll break on the first line in that file, or a file name with a line number, or the name of a function, and always break wherever you tell it to. Backtrace is fairly simple, it just shows you where you've been. Yeah. List, this is great. I use this one a lot because I always forget where I am within the script. Maybe I've looked away, come back to it, looked out the window for a bit. So yeah, if you're in a function and you're not sure, like you want to see the whole context of the function, just hit list with the number. I think this is the first, yeah, this is the first like function one. So you can see here it's got like these brackets. So you actually have to execute it like a function. So you list the number of lines that you specify around where you are. Watch again is another function one. So if you want to watch a variable name, that means every step you take, without trying to quote Sting, every step you take, you'll see the value of that variable. Yeah, so it's great if you want to like keep track of a specific variable as it executes the function. And if you want to stop watching it, if you're done with it, just unwatch. It's all very self-explanatory. It's great. And then watchers will just list anything that you're watching at the moment. So if you don't want to like hit next or continue or something like that, you can yeah, just hit watchers and see the values. REPL, you probably used the Node REPL before, I imagine. So this is the same as that. You can go in, you can inspect the value of something, you can change the value of something, call a function, do what you want. So you can see here, like, there's this variable h2 chance of winning, which we'll come to in the demo, and it just changes the value of that. Exec is very similar to the REPL, but it just means you don't have to go in and out of the REPL. So if you see here, it's like press Control-C to leave the REPL. That means, exec is if you just have a one-off thing to write, like changing a single variable value, just write exec and then the thing you want to do. And finally, restart. We'll restart the script. It will keep track of any breakpoints you've added, any watches you've got, and it will also pick up any changes you've made to the script in the meantime. So that's like just a quick overview of the features that there are. Are there any questions on like just those? No? Perfect. Cool. I'm going to give a short demo. So we've got this script here, which is Game of Thrones.js, and there's a small function which just creates an object of a house. So it's got the house name, the size of their army, the ability of their soldiers, and the number of dragons they've got. And then we're just creating an array of each of the houses here, or a few of the houses, such as Targaryen, Stark, White Walkers, and Lannister. And then we've got this function battle, which, despite me saying you don't need to console logs, so just logs some information about the battle that's about to happen, and then just some calculations on who's going to win, and then logs who the winner is. So, and then it will log there are no winners in war if it's a draw. So, without further ado, let's just run it, and I imagine there won't be any draws, right? Oh look, there was. It's almost like I planned it. So you can see like Targaryen 1, Targaryen 1, Targaryen, and White Walkers, and then there's this one here, which is a draw. Stark versus Lannisters. So let's just, so we've got these, here's where we're running the battles. So let's isolate this. Stark and Lannisters. So that's 1 and 3. So we're just going to comment out the rest. And you, and you. So just check I've got that right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add a debugger. And we can then, try it out. So here we are, the first line of the script. I'm just going to hit C for continue, and you can see we're just before we're declaring these variables. So I'm going to watch that one, then I'm going to watch that one with the 2, and then so I can currently see if I write that they're both undefined, and if I hit next, you can see they're printed out just above here. And a really handy thing about the debugger is that if you just hit enter without typing anything, it will just do the same thing you did last time. So one is 18,000 and so is the other. Okay, so it looks like that calculation makes them the same. So because I love the Starks and want them to win the Game of Thrones, I'm going to add an extra bit of a skill to their soldier ability. Okay, so let's restart and try again. Continue. And you can see we've kept these variables that we're watching here. So now we can see Starks are sort of in the lead. Woohoo! So let's run Node Game of Thrones.js. But for some reason it still looks like they're drawing. So let's carry on. Watch that one and watch that one. Sweet. Okay, so suddenly it's gone to infinity. They've got an infinity chance of winning. They both have an infinity chance of winning. So that's because on this line we're dividing by the number of dragons they've got. Okay, and they have 0 dragons. So in Node, if you divide by 0, you get infinity. So what we're going to do instead, let's alter this calculation so that maybe their chance is 1 minus 0.1 times the number of dragons. So if they've got 1 dragon, that's times 0.8, 2 dragons times 1 dragon 0.9. There's maths, right? Okay. Let's try again one more time. Okay, continue. Next. In fact, we don't need the debugger for this because we're just testing the script. So Lannister won. Whoa! Why did Lannister win? What do we think? Let's continue. One more time. So it's the 1 to infinity. That's because I only do it on one line, right? Woohoo! Okay. So now it's going to work. And it works! Yay! So, yeah, that was just like a silly kind of short demo on the debugger. I hope it explained a bit how you can use it and how it can be more useful than console logging everywhere. All this code's available on GitHub at josgo/example.debugger. Are there any questions about anything I've talked about today?